Hello, I'm Lise Colucci, and I'm one of the life coaches at queenbeing.com, where we help you to discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse in toxic relationships. Hello, everybody. How you doing today on this Monday? Hope you had a good weekend. We're going to talk today about mindfulness. Somebody was asking about this last week, saying they would like it as a topic. So we're going to talk about how to bring mindfulness into your everyday life, not just sitting down and meditating, but actually how to be more present to your life as it's happening. So if you want to know your own power and overcome toxic abuse, hit the subscribe button and let's continue on this healing journey together. I thank you for including me and joining me. And if you need help with any kind of support, any information, anything that you need, head over to queenbeing.com, where there's a ton of information and support and information about coaching as well. So head over there, queenbeing.com, if you need that. Oh, hello, Angela. So mindfulness, I don't really have anything I've jotted down here. We're just going to go. So a lot of times people will tell me that, and I've experienced this, as they're healing or as they are triggered or as they are still in recovery in the sense of they're very trauma bonded or they're feeling very low, that it's very difficult to feel present to what's going on in the day. They're anxious, they're depressed, people feel kind of all over the place, highs and lows, mood swings, anger, all kinds of stuff that takes you out of the present moment and into the future and the past at the same time, right? You know what I'm talking about. Or they're numb and dissociative and they're not able to stay present and grounded in the moment. Always. Angela's saying, hi, Nikki. And so, yeah. So what do you do? How do you be present and grounded and rooted in your life? Well, I think what helps is noticing what's actually going on around you. As you can see, I'm a little not grounded today, so it's perfect talk. I was doing okay again for a few weeks, but lately mindfulness has been a challenge again. Lots of ruminating. Okay, so the ruminating, the obsessive thinking, the constantly anchoring back to the narcissist and not focusing on oneself. Hi, Julia. How are you? Grieving, yes. I accepted it and stopped getting mad at myself. That's good. Yes, acceptance that you are in a state. So yeah, that's it. Accepting where you are emotionally is kind of important. That this is what I'm going through. This is what these are the waters I'm swimming through. And if you are in constant denial or constantly fighting those emotions, then you are actually making a big splashy mess in the water around you, right? You're not actually moving through it. And so acceptance is good. Now, acceptance doesn't mean you accept it's always going to be that way. It just means it's where I am right now. It means this moment I'm feeling kind of weird, or I'm feeling kind of low, or whatever it is. Tips on how to explain it to friends. Explain what to friends, Angela? How you're feeling? Hello, Martha. Tips on how to explain which part. So yeah, acceptance, and then being present at the same time to what else is happening. So it's like, okay, I'm feeling, let me see what am I feeling today? I'm feeling, okay, so I've been having this I've been pondering loneliness and questioning the feelings of connection to other people. And as a sensitive and caring person, the constant giving, and then where is the receiving? I've been questioning all of this. And so it's got me in this kind of very dissociative mood where I'm not really wanting to stay in my body. I'm wanting to like float off and think about stuff. Okay. So, okay, I feel that way. And what? And what else? And my plant is getting all these new leaves that are really beautiful. And that's amazing because I love my plant. And also, I didn't make any notes, so I'm kind of struggling with what direction this is going to go in. But you guys are always here to talk to me, so we got that. So I'm present to you. Oh yeah, you're here. I can be present to you. So you see what I'm saying? It's like, what else can I be present to besides my own inner state? I accept that I feel this way, like you're saying. I know it's not going to stay this way because emotions don't stay this way. I don't know why I'm speaking with a funny accent today, but I am. Okay. All right. So DC guy, hi. Hi, you. Hi, everyone. I finally left after 25 years, by far the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And it was worth every tear, every dollar, and every sleepless night to get out. Right? Yes. Definitely proud. Yes. You're getting all kinds of love here. Okay. I don't know why it held a message with rainbows, but it didn't want you to post that. Right? Not being present. Okay, Angela was asking a question. I accepted it and stopped getting mad at myself. Okay, we said that. Any tips? Okay, Angela's saying not being present when they want to chat. Oh, or wanting to be social as a result. Any advice on explaining this to my friends? You tell them I'm taking some time for myself. I need a little space right now. You don't really need to go into why. I think it's part of, I know, it's funny how it does that with my name, right? Kira. Hi, Kira. Yeah, I don't think, oh my gosh. So my autocorrect, every time I type today, it wants to say tiger. I've said this before, but it's the funniest thing to me because I'll be texting someone and I'll say, how's it going, tiger? When I mean is, how's it going today? Yeah, it's good. Some people I leave it, but other people I have to be a little more. Okay. And Lise help me. I'm so glad I'm glad you're here today. Okay. So being present when you're not able to be present to friends and they need something from you. I kind of like tiger too, right? It's so hard not to leave it. Sometimes it's like the funniest thing, but inappropriate, so I can't. Just think of all the ways you use the word today and you'll laugh. Anyway, mindfulness as I'm completely distracted. Okay, so tell your friends, Angela, maybe something along they don't need to know why. They just need to understand the boundary, right? I don't think we need to explain what we're feeling unless it's the type of friend that you enjoy that kind of talk with. There are people that you just really like. You go back and forth and talk about stuff like that. And in that kind of person, it wouldn't be difficult to say, you know what? I get overwhelmed. I feel out of it. And it's really hard for me to anchor back. And so I have to go inside myself a little bit and find my way through the day sometimes. You know, but other people they're going to say, what? Or why? You need to get out and you need to do this and tell you what to do and blah, blah, blah. So you just tell people I'm doing what I need for myself. I need to take a little time. I'm here. I love you, and I'll be back tomorrow, or I'll be back when I can, or let me check back with you. Something that sets a boundary. They think I should get out and socialize a lot, and I don't want to be around groups of people. See, that's just people they're overstepping your boundaries. I would tell them, you know what, I've considered that, and I feel like that isn't what I want to do right now, and I understand that you're trying to help me. Thank you. Or, you know what? Crowds are overwhelming me right now. I would really like, if you do want to see them, but you only want to see them one at a time, I'd really like to hang out with you and watch a movie or have dinner or whatever. And if you don't want to see anyone, you just tell people, you know what? I'm taking some time for myself. I appreciate you helping me, and I will be there to hang out when I feel ready. Don't forget me. I'm here, but right now I'm doing me. And it's in people's effort to help you that they're sometimes not listening to you. So sometimes we just got to word it a little firmer and directly without worrying about their feelings. Because, yeah, it's not about their feelings. It's about what you need. You're not doing it to hurt them. So, no, just accept bad feelings. Be observant. Remember that it is just my thoughts, my feelings, and my inner representation of the situation. Exactly. That your feelings are they kind of have a life of their own, and they're living and they're moving and they change, and it's where you are in this moment emotionally, but there's so much more going on around you in any given moment. So to me, it's anchoring back into the present time and what's going on. A lot of times I use my body for mindfulness. So If I am feeling highly distracted, like right now, I might be noticing that my hands are also on my body, or my feet are touching the floor, or um, some part of my body that I don't normally put my attention on. I'll just put focus there for just a second while I'm doing the other thing. Like right now, I'm sitting there noticing that my feet are on the floor while I'm talking to you, and I actually do feel much more grounded and present. And I'm looking directly into the camera instead of all over the place. You see, it helps. It does. It's tricky, and it's actually difficult. So it gives you something to do. It's like it's a skill that you can learn to do to put your attention on part of your body and what you're doing. Makes the emotions kind of they're still there and they're still loud and screaming, but they're in the background sometimes. And that helps. Let's see. What do we have going on here? For my experience, not to feel bad for bad feelings, because that's what was the positive thinking tries to teach us always, teaches us always to feel good. Okay, I'm going to reread that because that's perfect. Svanusha always has great comments. From my experience, not to feel bad for feeling bad, because that's what positive thinking tries to teach us, always feel good. Correct. Feel what you feel. Don't qualify it with good or bad. That's how I look at it. Sometimes it's really bad, and it just is, and you have to validate and acknowledge the fact, this is really bad. I don't want to be here. You got to be there because it's where you are, but you don't want to be there. And so we find ways to like calm, if you're having a panic attack and you're emotionally just on the ceiling, it's maybe not a place you want to accept you're at. Maybe there's then tools you need to, pull out of your tool bag to calm down, or finding ways to distract yourself, or finding ways to calm yourself, because that's like too high of an emotion, too much. So grounding in sense of breathing, counting objects, changing your thought pattern by deliberately thinking something else, playing word games, playing number games, anything to get your brain engaged away from the emotional experience so that you can calm down a bit. But if it's a matter of feeling like you can't be grounded because you're having a bad day or a bad mood or something, it's like, why qualify it with bad? Just say the mood is what it is. I feel sad today. Okay. It's not good or bad. It's just a feeling. And then I'm going to keep moving on. I accept that it feels sad, and find things that are in your present moment to take your mind. It's not so much taking your mind off the bad thing, like as in shoving it aside and not acknowledging it. You can acknowledge it, that I feel bad. I'm sad. I've been discarded. I'm unhappy. I'm crying all day long. This isn't what I want to be doing the rest of my life. And I know it won't be. But for right now, it feels like forever. Okay. But if you then distract to something else by taking your mind and redirecting your attention, that feeling can still be there, and you can have something else. And you feel a little more in the present time, because I don't know about you, but the discard, the leaving, any breakup is surreal. And you don't feel like yourself. You feel like you're on another planet. You just don't feel right. Everything's heightened, everything's intensified. So coming back to anything that you can anchor on, it's not invalidating or pushing away the feeling. It's acknowledging the feeling, but also doing something else. Does that make sense? Something positive. That doesn't mean you have to feel good, right? You can still feel bad. You can hold good and bad at the same time too. There's all kinds of things we feel. So, okay. Okay. Hello, Belle. Okay, what am I reading here? I missed a bunch. Okay. My narcissist is love bombing me like crazy, but I live 1,000 miles away now. Yes. Yes, and you know what it is, and you know where you're headed, and where you don't want to go back to. So boundaries, 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 boundaries right now. Okay. It's up to you what you want to do, not anyone else's boundary. Correct. It's up to you what you need to do. This is to Angela. Kira, you can just say, okay, we're talking about, okay. Belle is saying she had an awful weekend. So many negative things are happening. Will likely be quiet and listen. Okay, we're here for you if you need to talk. All right. Okay. Hi, Leslie. and Andy and Crystal. Everyone's just here listening. He's playing video games. I'm not. Okay. I struggle with going easy on myself, not judging my healing process. My therapist keeps saying I cut myself no slack. I don't know how to. Ooh, let's talk about that. How can we do that? By being present. So, what are you doing when you can't answer me? Yes, you can. You can answer me if you want. If you're a fast typer. So, Nikki, what are you doing when you are judging yourself? Where are you taking your thoughts? Are they in the present time? So say you are thinking, I'm not healing fast enough, or I should be better by now, or things should feel better. And I don't, and it's my fault. Nothing's working because I'm stuck and this isn't working. So whatever you're thinking that is stunting your healing process by judging it, where are you taking your thoughts? Are they in the moment leading toward the future, or are they in the past? Are you comparing something to an ideal that doesn't exist far off in the future? Are you comparing something to an ideal of the past? What are you doing? What's happening? Are you simply just, I don't know what you're doing. I feel like I shouldn't be thinking about my ex so much still. And just by doing that, you think about your ex, right? So it's that perpetual loop. Just by even typing that, right? It makes you think about them. So that would be anchoring to the past. Right? You're anchoring your healing, basing it back into the past is what I'm seeing, is what I'm asking. So instead, what can you do to bring your thoughts into yourself and in the present time? Because a lot of this healing is going back and forth. I don't remember how long you are free. You can tell me if you want, but it doesn't really matter how long. The point is, well, it does matter, but you know what I mean? Not for this purpose. That if you are feeling like okay, here's the thing. You've been no contact 4 months. Okay, so it's not that long, but that's enough time to feel like what you're talking about and have it be legitimate for you, because you can feel the fact that it pulls you back toward them. And you can also feel the need to think about them because you're still understanding what happened to you and you're still processing what happened to you. You may understand it fully and you're still processing it. Things trigger you back to them. So it's how you handle the thinking about them, right? Cut yourself off, set timers, set limits, and after that timer goes off, after that limit happens, bring yourself into the present moment. This moment right now, all that's happening is I'm talking at you, you're listening, you're sitting or standing or laying down or whatever you're doing. You have whatever sensations around you, you have whatever smells around you, you have whatever's going on in the room or wherever you are is what you have. That's the moment. Okay. If you focus on it, there's not a whole lot of room left in the head to go back to thinking about the narc for a while, at least for a few moments. It's practice. Mindfulness is not a state of constant being most of the time. It's practice to be present to your life as it's happening, to feel what you feel in the moment. We want to anchor back because we're following the emotional trail or the thought trail that's leading to an emotional trail. And we're going backwards and we want to go forwards. So then once you're mindful, once you're more in your body, what is it that you want for the next moment? How can you bring this feeling and move it forward? You want to think about what? You want to plan what? You want to do what to direct your thoughts back to yourself. And I don't know, that helps me if I'm making any sense here. Okay, what else did you say here? I feel like I'm not, okay, Kaylee is saying, I feel like I'm not present and end up self-sabotaging and screwing up the present because my mind is stuck somewhere else, something negative. I'm aware of my I'm aware of my negative behavior while it's happening. Right. Okay, kind of the same thing I was saying to Nikki then. It's giving yourself the few minutes that you need to think about it. So you validate and give yourself, you're not just snatching it away and saying, no, you can't do that thinking. And then redirecting your thoughts. Mindfulness breathing practices is never hurt. It's never harmful, I don't think, to take 5 minutes to do a mindfulness breathing exercise if you have the time. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, doesn't have to be long, to come back to a calmer state so that thoughts and emotions can kind of separate a little bit and not be so attached to this present time. Does that make sense? I think I'm getting caught up in ruminating about the past, things I could have done differently now that I see my reactivity clearly. Getting caught up in the what ifs. I don't know if I can explain what I want to say here because my head is in this space of intuition, not in words, and I'm having trouble articulating what I want to say to that right there. This is what I've been thinking about all weekend. It's how we are always in reaction to the influences that are around us. Always in reaction. We are reactive. We are like little reactive cell, like little amoebas in a petri dish, reacting to the stimuli that's around us, to the influences, to the impressions, to all of it. And we also have this amazing brain that has memory and has a subconscious mind and a conscious mind. So our conscious mind might be ruminating and thinking and whatever, but it's pulling impressions out of that subconscious mind. So you can't, it's like going at it directly to be free of that reactive thing that's happening to reacting to everybody else. Can't do it when you're in the middle of trauma, when you're in the middle of, you're in survival mode. That reactive state that we're in is for a purpose. It's to help us live. It's to help us survive the wolves that are chasing us, right? It's to keep us safe from bears and all kinds of dangerous things out there. That's why we are reactive. That's why we're highly reactive and quickly reactive. And that's why the anxiety kicks in, because it's all wrapped up in our nervous system in reaction and survival. So when you are in the trauma, when you are being abused, of course you're reactive. There's no way you could have done it differently because you were doing what's natural for a human being in a situation like that. So now what? Now we don't need to keep up with the reactivity because it's not happening now. We have to remember we're not in the trauma now. We're in a state of, if you are, then it's very difficult, even if you know what is happening, but still being mindful and being more present is a form of self-care to help you gray rock, to help you stay calm in the situations, to help you be less reactive. It does keep us safe from tigers. The reactive is to keep us safe from tigers. That's right. Okay. So yeah, I think you were doing what was natural for you at the time. So now, we're all in it. I was just thinking about how reactive I am. This is what came from as I was thinking about how much I try to be present to whatever's going on, and still I'm pulled into the orbit of other people and in reaction to the way they're responding to me. And instead of holding my own space, and it's very difficult, especially when you have like a high level of empathy and you are intuitive. It's like, it's very difficult. So, but it does never end. Reaction never ends. This crazy, have an upcoming anniversary date of assault that I almost didn't survive on the 31st was triggered by pics on Wednesday and Thursday. Oh, Leslie. See, it doesn't end. However, we learn self-care and we learn ways to ground ourselves and come back to the present time. Because, okay, we're not living in the past and we are not living in the future. We're only living right now. And if you miss right now, you're not really living your life, right? You're always in a state of anxiety or reaction or depression or something. You're in a state that isn't here in this moment. Does that make sense? So what are other ways to be more mindful? I'm going to have to cut this off in 15 minutes because it's now school time and I have timing. I feel as though I have no control and have tried removing myself from the situation to think and become aware. Nothing helps. Nothing helps. So what happens when you feel out of control like that? What's going on with you? So maybe break it down and look for different strategies. If something's not working, look for different strategies. Look to different personality types for how they strategize. This is what I do. I can't look to people who are like me because they're struggling with the same things. You know what I mean? Like I can if they are thinking their way through something or feeling their way through something and they're succeeding. So look to who's succeeding and also different types of people, because sometimes just trying on somebody else's strategy, even though you don't think it will work, might work. It's just trying it. Not everything's going to work. Okay. What am I missing here? Deep breathing helps keep me mindful and present. Yes. Excellent. Let's see. For me, sometimes it's not even being stuck in the past. It can just be stuck in the negative or focusing on the negative and therefore not present. I've tried breathing. So I would ask myself, what is this negative and where is it coming from? To me, that's the past, because most of my negative is programming, and I don't naturally think negatively. I naturally think kind of inquisitively. I ask a lot of questions, and I wonder, and I question, and I relish the feeling of not knowing. Okay, but as soon as it turns negative, I hate it. And it's wrong, and I'm bad, and I can't do this, and blah, blah, blah. And I think, where does all this negativity come from? It's not, if I'm attached to the negative state, then I'm not seeing it for what it is. What it is programming that I was taught to believe about myself through different things that have happened in my life, which is anchoring me back to the past. And that is not where I want to live. I want to live in the present. So generally, I would say movement, get moving, take a walk, get in the air, get in nature, get around other people, listen to children laugh at the playground, go pet a dog, finding things that are innocent and free from this stuff that we live with, and listening to their joy or simply their peace, their presence. A dog doesn't care about these, if other people are looking at it, or some dogs do, but you know what I mean? Like a happy-go-lucky dog doesn't care if somebody hurt its feelings, really, because they don't notice, and they're just in the moment, and being around that helps. So what I was going to say is, we're all in reaction. We're always in reaction, right? And we can find ways to be less in reaction and more present to ourselves and what we want, need, and feel. But at the same time, we're still under the influence of the impressions around us. So choose your influences wisely. If your friends are pushing you and not being good influences for you, or not being good, not influences, but what am I trying to say? Impressions. They're not giving you the impression of support. Then hang out with people that do, or find it in a support group or something for a little while. It's not saying like you throw away your friends. It's just that right now it's the wrong impression for me. And if someone wants to hang out with you and they're extremely negative and you are healing, that's a wrong impression for you. It's not gonna serve the purpose of feeling better. Not that we have to feel happy all the time, but we certainly don't want to stay in a pit of negativity, right? So sometimes being more mindful can mean choosing where you are, choosing your influences, and not letting things just sort of sweep you away. Does that make sense? It's a boundary. All right. When I'm feeling that itch of discomfort, when the emotion I'm experiencing is something it moved. I don't want to be feeling. My unhealthy coping mechanisms want to take over. This is the mindfulness I'm at. Because noticing is a huge piece, right? It's difficult. I think it takes practice to learn to spot when we've been sucked in, holding boundaries. Sometimes it's after, and that's okay. Often it's after, almost always it's after. That's okay, because what you do is you learn from it. If you judge it, you don't learn. If you say, I shouldn't have done that, that was dumb, I shouldn't have done that. Why did I let myself stupid? I stepped into that again. You're just judging it. All you're doing is taking away the lesson and assigning some judgment of meaning that is negative about yourself. And you completely lost the lesson, which is, if I go there, I'm uncomfortable. So what if it was one bad experience? Don't do it again, but you will do it again if you're judging yourself for it. It's not the way to, we feel like it's the way to stop us from doing more of that thing, but actually it usually doesn't. sometimes, but usually not. Anyway, can I please offer some advice? Of course you can. I lived and worked with my narcissist for 25 years. Every single hour, every single day. It felt like dying. Just 24 hours after leaving, I feel like a new person. Being physically separated and in a safe place makes all the difference in the world. I can already feel the pain starting to leave my body. Oh, let the poison go away, right? I'm so happy to hear that. So happy. Lise, your mood, though difficult to relate, appreciate your upbeat, sweet mood. I know it's difficult to relate. I do. And believe me, I have been where you are, and I can only be where I am right now. And I've been where you are, and I understand greatly what you're going through. And I'm not meaning to make light when I get silly at all, but I'm glad it is uplifting because that happens. Okay. Okay. Being around strong-minded, confident people helps me. Their personality kind of rubs off on me a little. Everybody's personality is everyone's way of being. We're influenced by one another. That's kind of exactly what Belle said, that my upbeat mood, lions and tigers and bears, she appreciates. Why she appreciate it? Because maybe a little tiny piece is rubbing off on her, and she can feel for just one moment a little piece of joy herself, or a little piece of laughter, or something inside herself, something to delight herself in her mind with for even a second, because it's an influence, right? So it's exactly that. People do. We have to choose. We're more present to note when we notice. So when I'm around someone, I notice how I feel. I notice how I'm acting. If I'm not acting the way my best self, in other words, if I'm not acting in a way where I feel safe and confident and comfortable to be myself, then it's probably an influence that isn't working out somehow. And there's probably something happening that I need to pay attention to. And it's not just for people, right? It's places. There's places I don't want to go because I don't like the way I act there. I don't make me moody and grumpy and grouchy, and I feel uncomfortable. I feel yucky. So that's an influence I don't need in my life unless I absolutely have to do the thing, right? Which usually don't, or often. Okay. I've been throwing up every day for 7 days, not sleeping. I'm just laying on the floor on a blow-up mattress with no electricity. Only a cooler filled with some food, and I've never been happier. I'm so glad you're noticing that. So glad you are noticing that, DC guy. Yeah. All right. Very uplifting. Laughter is healing, and I usually giggle here. Good. That's the point. One trigger of one experience sets off another trigger, or reactions of another. More recent ex-narcissist, his abuse, which I will try not to think about, and his abuse has effect on me. Want out of trauma, move on. You're no longer with them, correct? You're free from having them in your daily life. Is that right? So it's learning to handle triggers and be present to this moment and not, okay, so this is what I do when I have trigger. That's all I can do is talk about it from that place, because of course I have triggers all the time. Had one today, big one. So had the experience, had the feeling. I don't know about you. I get a wave of feeling like I'm going to pass out. I feel dizzy. I feel hot. My skin starts to feel prickly. I feel confused. I get emotional. I go in reaction. I either get angry, or I get reactive, or I get really sped up and hyper. Or I want to run. I want to escape. I go into anxiety, right? That's me being in reaction to my trigger. Well, this particular trigger was a human being in my face, so I couldn't run. Couldn't do anything that I wanted to do. Instead, I just chose to breathe and allow the triggering feelings to be there and be present to the human being that was in front of me, because they weren't doing it on purpose. It wasn't a bad thing. It just was a trigger. And be present to them and what they were doing. I listened to them. I listened to the sounds around me. I used my senses. I came into my body as much as I possibly could. By doing that, I acknowledged the fact that I was having a trigger. And honestly, I walked away and the trigger was gone. The feeling was gone. Had a little bit of that sped up anxiety. And I said, oh, you're full of adrenaline. Okay, that's fine. Came home, took a walk. That's how I work it, is I don't believe the trigger is real. I believe it's a trigger. I acknowledge that it's happening, but I also acknowledge that this isn't the trauma. This is like an echo of the trauma. And I'm going to feel what I'm going to feel, and I'm going to move through it, but I'm also going to stay as close to reality, like what's actually happening, as I can, through my body and through my thoughts and through listening and paying attention. So, okay. Lise, I believe that's it. The tiger story was likely the first smile since last group. We need more tigers then. Okay. Actually, I do have a funny tiger story but I'm not going to tell my tiger stories of times that word has come out in the wrong time in text. Like, oh, I can't even, I'll have to think. When it comes to me, it'll be funny. You'll think of it. I'll think of it. I'll tell you. All right. Belle says, you have great courage, DC guy. I know it will be easier. So well done. Sending strength. Excellent. Okay. Anything else you guys want to talk about? I have to leave a little bit early today, like now or shortly. So anything for tomorrow that you would like to talk about? Any suggestions for a topic? We are tigers. The mighty tiger team. Okay. Anything you want to talk about tomorrow? Let me know. Any questions that you have or anything I can help with today? I'm hoping this was a little bit useful and it had some clarity to it. As I said, being present takes practice. It does take practice. And yeah. Okay. You love it. Okay, good. So nothing, you got nothing. You guys got nothing. I got nothing. We're done. Okay. Okay, I described exactly what it feels like and what it is for me. Sometimes your voice comes into my head, listening, offering advice. Thanks. You're welcome. Excellent. That's what we do. See, use your influences, choose them wisely because they help you through the times when you need it. Otherwise, what are you hearing? You're hearing the influences of the negativity that's been planted there by the programming. We are all off topic, and that's okay because it's important. Operation Tiger. Can we talk about reparenting ourselves? Yes, we can. And I think I even wrote that down and haven't. Reparenting. Okay, yes, we can. We can, because this is kind of touching on it, isn't it? How to get through the holidays. Okay, soon, because we're not close to the holidays yet, but we will get there soon. What else? Anyway, yeah, so go ahead and choose some positive influences so that your associations are directed toward something for your healing. That's helpful. Okay, that's it. We listen to the voices told to us still. We do. We listen to the voices told to us. So, I mean, honestly, I choose music wisely. I choose, because the influence of it stays with me, I choose things I look at with consideration. I am present to the moment when I'm making the choice, and then I can let go and let the influence be there. There, I brought it back to mindfulness. Being present to the choices that you make when you choose the influence that's going to be your next impression that comes into your subconscious mind and influences every moment from thereafter. It's important, actually. Leslie, what did you say? That's absolutely correct. Yeah. Leslie, you're absolutely correct. Even as adults, we are still listening to the bad programming and the incorrect inner voice that was taught to us by our parents. Right. Correct. The more you fill your life with the influences of your choice, the less room there is for that stuff. I'm telling you, it really is true. The more you have people like me and Angie and other people sitting in your inner head, talking you through, like Belle was talking about, the better you're choosing an influence that's there for your healing. You're choosing an influence that's there to empower you. You're not choosing an influence that wants to control you and take over and, be malicious and change your life in a negative way. You're choosing an influence of someone who's been there and who is there, who's moving with you through this whole thing. And that's super important because I am an INFJ-P. Somebody's asking what my Myers-Briggs is. I have 50-50 J and a P. So when I'm here, I'm pretty J. When I'm like in relationship with someone that I'm ooey-gooey, mushy, cozy with, it's very P. You know what I'm saying? Then all of that comes out. But it's 50-50 anyway. Where everyone pretends and posts pictures of snapshots of their perfect Labor Day family. Oh, we're talking about holidays. Love to talk about reparenting our inner child. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Okay. How to deal with the holidays. Okay, we can do holidays soon. Maybe not this week. Maybe coming up very soon. I'm writing left-handed. I'll bet I'll be able to read that. I can. Yeah, I should just write left-handed. All right. Yes. Okay. Reprogramming the inner voice, reparenting the inner child. How about that? That's 2 days worth. Yeah? Sound good for this week? All right. That makes a lot of sense. I'm silly too. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's the combination of getting completely geeking out on the bringing of logic and sense to the emotions, understanding the emotions through logic, and being a total dork and goofy, right? All right. Okay. That's it. So if you've enjoyed this, please hit the thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. If you would like text notifications of my going live, you guys, text me at 33222. I send a notification about 10 minutes prior to going live. Put the words Lise Live, Liselive, as one word. Hit send, and I will text you every time I go live. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, will I? Okay, I have some work going on in my house. I'm going to try. I may be on my phone, and it may be weird. I don't know how to make it work. If I can make it work, I'll be here. Otherwise, it'll be later in the week. But I will try. We'll see. Or I'll do evening. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll do an evening one. That might be fun. See who can come. I don't know. All right. INFJ. Look at all these INFJs. Isn't that fabulous? You can tell we find each other like beacons of light. We do. We find each other. I'm really in the camera now. We totally find each other. Sorry. I'm really silly today. Okay, guys. But we do. I had a woman in somewhere in public, and she came over and found me. She was an INFJ. And it's like, wow, it's amazing. I love it. Okay. INFP, ISFJ. All right. Oh, hi, Daniel. INFJ, ISFP. Okay. All right. I should set it up. We should do something where we talk about, let's talk about how narcissistic abuse relates to our personality types. But you guys, let's plan it a little so you can come in and actually chat with me about it, because I don't know what it's like to be an ISFJ. And I don't know a lot of ISFJs personally to gather information from. So it would be useful to hear it directly from you. That would be a fun one. Anyway. Okay, you guys, gotta go. You take care. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.